What's up, guys? Just passed 6,000 subscribers. Thank you all. Obviously, can't do it without you guys. So that's pretty cool. I remember making a video when I passed 3,000, and I made this point that big deal, 3,000. Why am I celebrating it? Well, I celebrate my little wins to give myself encouragement to keep going. And here we go. I've doubled the subscriber count. It's pretty awesome. And thanks to you guys tuning in, watching this. By the way, YouTube has these ridiculous things where you can be subscribed and not be getting my videos. So there's a little bell underneath this video that you have to literally click so that you are really subscribed to make sure that you get my live videos, my uploaded videos, and videos like this, okay? So if you haven't done that, make sure you hit that little bell so you don't miss out on this stuff, okay? So again, thank you. 6,000 is awesome. Here's to 12,000. Let's double it again, right? So today I want to share with you a pledge that I had all of the syndicate members actually agree to. Not that they're pledging to me, okay? It's not a pledge of loyalty to me or anything like that. It's actually a pledge to themselves. As the syndicate has grown and we've gotten more and more members, we've had a couple of issues where I had to let people go because their attitude wasn't in the right place. They just weren't ready for it. Or whatever reason, personality sometimes just butt heads and it just didn't work out. But I'm very protective of my group here, of the syndicate. I'm like the mama bear. And if somebody comes in trying to spoil it, having a bad attitude, just injecting a lot of negativity into the group, I am quick to fire. Like I get rid of that stuff right away. I obviously am fair and I give people a warning. I let them know that's not allowed. But if they persist or they just can't sort of get it together to just be a positive, productive person and a member of our team, they're given the boot. They are shown the door. Sorry it didn't work out for you, okay? Best of luck. I still wish everybody best of luck, okay? I have no enemies or anything like that. I just say it didn't work out for you, and I need to make sure that I protect the good, hardworking members here. And in order to do that, I got to let go of the ones that are not so much following those rules, okay? But as I went through some of these issues, I started realizing, I don't really have a very clearly defined definition of what does it mean to be a syndicate member? What does it mean to, before you even join, how do you know if you would be a good fit for us? How would you know that you would get a lot out of it? Like you would actually really benefit and really profit from this kind of a group? What does it really take? And I sort of take responsibility for that I've just, we've had a motto that said, just do the work. I kind of have a sort of like, hey, you just need to be a hardworking person. But like, that's not really that clear. There's very different, there's definitions of what hard work really is. So I decided like, I'm going to stop being vague. I'm going to stop just not defining what we are as a group. And so I actually, through a process of asking the members and also just kind of doing some searching on my own, I came up with a good list of sort of tenets that you must have, that you have to pledge and agree to be a productive member of the syndicate. But you could literally swap out like syndicate member with professional music producer, okay? These tenets are basically what you should be following to become a professional full-time music producer, okay? So whether or not you go into the syndicate, these should be the things that you pledge and commit to agree to following, to sticking to day in and day out, every single day, okay? So what I'm going to do here is play you the actual video that I played for the syndicate members and told them this is what I expect from you guys. This is the pledge that I need you all to make if you want to stay in this group, okay? And I'm deadly serious about this because I'm going to start putting more and more restrictions, including in the future soon. I probably will be doing interviews and doing sort of a you're going to have to apply to become a part of the syndicate because as it's growing, more and more people are talking about it. There's just a lot of people coming in and I need to kind of know who I'm working with here, okay? So it's not just like you jump in and then like, there's no personal relationship there and it's just, you're just a number. I invest in my students, okay? And I listen to your music and I give you feedback and I'm putting up production tutorials and I'm trying to motivate, inspire everybody in there. And so I want to kind of know who I'm working with. Like we're sort of a team. And obviously with my distribution partners, like I have obligations to deliver to them on time. I signed up with them because I had a really solid group of guys that I can count on. And so I want to make sure that like, if you're jumping in, I don't expect you to be there. Like you don't have to be at the top of the game. You don't have to be on par with the professionals out there. But your attitude and your mindset has to be right, okay? It has to be there. And this is going to be valuable for you even if you're going to go it alone, even if you're going to go into the licensing business and just crank out a bunch of tracks and reach out to a couple of libraries and do this on your own, you should still follow these tenets, because this will keep you out of all trouble. Okay, this will put you on that straight and narrow path towards success. So I'm going to shut up now and play that video. So today I have completed the pledge that I'm going to ask all of you to take with me right now. Now, this is a pledge that I will be sort of implementing moving forward for any new member who comes into the syndicate, because as you guys have seen in previous experiences and previous things that's happened, I'm pretty strict in terms of I want people to be in this group who are ready to work, that have the right attitude, that are in this for the long haul, that are not looking for the sort of get rich quick and give me something right now. That attitude and mentality, first and foremost, just isn't a recipe for success. It's not going to work in the long run. So I don't want to spend any energy and effort helping somebody if they're right off the bat, I can just see you're not going to go in the long run. You're not going to make it in the long run. So why should I spend energy on you, giving you feedback, helping you out, when you're not really going to be the type of person that's going to make it, in the long run in this business? So these are essentially the fundamental promises that you need to make to yourself. Okay, this is not to me. This is not a pledge to me. This is not a pledge of loyalty. This is a pledge to yourself. Okay, so as long as every one of these points that come up, you are going like, absolutely, that's me. Absolutely, yes, yes, yes. If this is all ringing true to you and you're feeling like this is definitely what you can commit to and what you can make a promise to yourself to keep, then you're in the right place, okay? Then you do belong here in the syndicate, and this is the right place for you. It's not for everybody, though, okay? This is not a group for all producers and all musicians. I've dealt with enough musicians and producers with the wrong mentality and the wrong attitude to know that there are differences between those who are going to succeed and those that are not. And all of it has to do with your mentality. It all has to do with your attitude. It has to do with how professionally you treat yourself, right? And also setting your expectations in the right place and not thinking the world owes you anything, that you deserve something, or this isn't fair. That stuff doesn't help you, okay? What it does help you is having an internal gauge on what you can do, and also having that motivation and that determination to stick with something long enough to see it work. And that's the only way you can succeed at anything in life. So let's go through these points one by one, and as long as you go through these and you can definitely make these commitments, I'm glad to have you here. All right, and that's just confirmation. If you're even in kind of on the edges right now, not knowing, like, I don't know, is this going to work out? Is this group kind of a good place for me? Well, you're going to know after this video if this is the right place for you to be, okay? So just follow along here. This is the pledge. I am a syndicate member. What does it mean to be a syndicate member, right? It's not something I've really defined before. We've had our sort of motto, just do the work, but I want to even nail that down a little bit more concretely so you know exactly what it means to be a syndicate member. And this is the promise and the pledge you should be making to yourself. I use my music to serve a marketplace. Most musicians and producers are not serving a marketplace. They're serving themselves. They're serving, I don't know, their girlfriend or boyfriend or husband or wife. They're just making music because they want to make music, which is great. I don't want to harp on that, but that's not what we're here for, okay? We're not just making music for ourselves. We're not just doing it to give ourselves a pat on the back. We're here to learn how we can serve somebody else, how we can make somebody else's life better, okay? The better we can do that, the more money we can make, right? That actually will lead us towards full-time income, okay? So we're here to do something very serious and very useful and meaningful with our music to serve the needs of a marketplace, okay? If you're not here to serve the needs of a marketplace, this is not the place for you. You got to have a service mentality, a service mindset first and foremost. I don't make excuses or offer disclaimers, okay? I've had some of this going on in the syndicate, and we're going to put an end to this stuff, okay? When I get people submitting, with the exception of open reviews, something where you're like in demo form, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about when you're doing a final submission for an opportunity. You know what I'm talking about, where you say, well, it's not really fully mixed and mastered, but I wanted to get... No, we don't do that in this group, okay? We don't put disclaimers on our tracks when we submit them. If it's not ready to go, 100%, completely up to par with how we feel it should be there, don't submit it, all right? Don't post it. Don't have that stuff on submit it to a library, submit it to an opportunity for me or for Trevor or for anybody until it's 100% there. You should not be making excuses or offering disclaimers for your tracks when you submit them, okay? I deliver on time every time. All right. So I've had some issues like that before where I had a lot of people promise that they could deliver me something and they didn't get it to me on time. That stops today. Make a promise and a pledge to yourself that if you are going to deliver and you say you're going to deliver, do it on time and do it every single time. Build up your brand, right? When you're working with a library and they say, hey, can you get us 5 tracks by the end of the week or next week or whatever, and you 50% of the time you hit that mark, 50% of the time you don't, which 50% do you think that they're going to label you as or associate you with? They're going to label you, associate you with the 50% of the time that you didn't come through. And they're gonna just classify you as a flake. Like, yeah, he's sometimes there, sometimes not, or she's sometimes there, sometimes not. You don't want to be that person, okay? You want to be 100%. I'm always there. I always got your back, and I'm gonna get it to you on time every single time. I learn from every opportunity, even if I don't get the gig. All right, so this is a really big thing. I don't get every single gig that I'm offered, guys, and I've been in this business 10 years now. But if I don't get it, my first, I might feel rejected. I might not feel great about it, but I always know that there's something I can learn. And you guys know that there's always something you can learn as well from every opportunity that you get into the syndicate, okay? Every opportunity that you get in this business and in the syndicate, it's not just about getting on the album. That's not what it's about, okay? It's about getting feedback, learning, maybe discovering, maybe you had some weaknesses that you weren't aware of, and that's the most common thing that happens here is a lot of producers think that they're there, and then when they get into the syndicate and get some feedback and get some help, they realize, yeah, I wasn't really there. I think I was just sort of giving myself this feeling that like I thought I was already at the point of being professional, and I didn't feel like I had to improve it all. And this really took me back to school, right? Which is a good thing. I know it's struggle. It's not. It doesn't feel as good as just getting onto that album the first time you submit, of course. But if you're not there, it's really important that you got to go back to that point of building up your skills and getting to the point where you do get accepted every time or most times that you submit for an opportunity. Okay, so just making sure that it's not always about getting onto the opportunity or getting onto the album. Your mindset has to be, okay, that sucks, I didn't get on, but what can I learn from this? How can I do better? What did I learn from this entire process? That is the winning attitude, and that is the winning mindset for a long-term successful strategy here. I accept responsibility for my career. Big one. Lots of producers and musicians think somebody else should give them their success, right? They're waiting for the record label to sign them. They're waiting for a publisher to give them. They're waiting for a library to give them placements, right? It happens in the licensing business as well. They're waiting for me to make their career happen for them. It's not how it works. You guys are the CEOs of your career. You guys are responsible for whether or not you succeed or not, okay? I can only do so much. I can't produce your tracks for you. I can't literally drag you out of bed and force you to go make tracks every single day and keep you on top of your production schedule and all that kind of stuff. I can motivate you here with these videos. I can try to keep you inspired. I can give you all the tools that I possibly can. But that's it, okay? You have to accept responsibility that the more you take out of this group, the more that you give to it, the more that you sort of submit and participate, the more you're going to get out of it, okay? But that's your responsibility. You have to decide that it's something that you're going to make sure that you get the most out of, okay? So you do take responsibility and you accept responsibility for your career, and it's nobody else's fault. We're not complaining about the industry being unfair and this and that. We're just working on what we can do, right? We're just taking responsibility for well, I can't control that. I can't control this. I can't control those laws. What I can do is make the best music that I can and do the best that I can, partnering with really good companies and striving to be better every single day, right? That's taking responsibility, not just thinking about, well, this isn't fair and that sucks. Okay, great. Life isn't fair. We learned that. You probably learned that when you were 10 years old. Like it's you're much older than that now. Let it go. Life is not fair. We're not the people that complain about that. We just take responsibility and learn how can we make things better, right? If we can make it better for ourselves, then we can eventually make it better for the industry and for the world. I admit my weaknesses and work to improve them. Really hard to do, right? Most of you guys know how hard that is. Most of your music careers probably had most of your friends and family telling you, you're great, you're awesome, you have great music, which is awesome because they're trying to support you. But it's not always what you need. Sometimes you really need somebody to say, like, there's a weakness right there. Kind of like a doctor. Doctors don't just tell you, you're great, you're awesome, you're healthy. Don't worry about it. When there's something that there should be, you should have operated on, or you need some medication for, or you need to just take care of, right? Live a healthier lifestyle. Sometimes you need that sort of like cold, hard, honest truth of like, yeah, your drums aren't working. Your strings don't sound real. Your guitars are off time. You need to accept these things when they are actually weaknesses and go, okay, it doesn't mean I'm a failure, right? It doesn't mean that you can't succeed, but let's start with, where are my weaknesses? What can I do better? And how can I improve them? Which is obviously connects right back to you taking responsibility for doing better, okay? I'm in this for the long-term success, not short-term results, okay? So I talked about that before. If you're expecting to get your first placement and be making full-time income, you probably should leave right now, because you are going to be disappointed, right? There is first-time beginner's luck, and I've heard of these crazy stories, but if that's what you expect and anything short of that is a failure to you, you probably should just go. This is not going to be a good experience for you, okay? This is about slowly building up your royalties, slowly building up your catalog over many months, over years, okay? And if it means reducing your income or your expenses, monthly expenses, to get you to that full-time income faster, you got to do that. If it means having some independent contract work, you can do some work on the side to supplement your income to get closer to full-time income, you got to do that, okay? But it's about long-term success. This is going to be something that you're going to do for decades into the future, okay? The rest of your life. And if you retire, you probably won't, because you love making music, but if you decide to retire, you can have this passive income just lasting forever, okay? That's the idea. So if you're in this for a couple of months and you think that just getting one album out, that'll do it for you, and you'll have a career on your hands with one album and one library, not the right place for you. And it's not going to work. It's not going to work for you anywhere, okay? It's not just about just the syndicate. You're not going to do well when you think that that's the recipe for success, is just getting your first album out there and just dusting your hands off and walking away. Not going to happen. You got to stick with this, and you got to maintain a long-term consistent hustle, okay? Which brings me to the last point, and this is how you're going to maintain that consistent hustle. My real paycheck is the joy of creating music, okay? Many people can tell you in their first year, 2 years into this business, they're not seeing the royalties yet, they're not seeing a lot of placements yet, and they're like, is this going to work out? I don't know. Is this going to happen for me? Now, I understand you got to see results, right? You got to see something happening, even if it's just a couple of placements, just to see that you're moving forward, and I do think that is an important thing. But I can tell you, I've had huge checks, royalty checks, sync fee checks, consideration fees. I've had a lot of crazy, awesome opportunities come through my door. And don't get me wrong, I get buzzed off of it when it's like, wow, that track, earned me many thousands of dollars and got seen by millions of people. Trust me, you do buzz off of that. That is a really awesome feeling for a couple of days, 48 hours, 72 hours, maybe a week at the most. And then the more you get those, the less that time is. You might feel buzzing for 24 hours after a while. So what are you going to do after that? What are you doing this for? If that feeling of accomplishment and excitement wears off, why are you going to get back in your studio again? What's the other pull, right? What's the other incentive to get you back in there? You better love creating music. That's your real paycheck, okay? That's the real reason why you're doing this, is that you love the art of making music, okay? That it's all in your heart. It's really got to come from there, right? If you're doing this for money, if you're doing this for just the placements, just for the exposure, the credits even, if you're like, oh, I just want to have all these cool credits so everybody respects me, that's going to wear off. It's not going to be rewarding in the long run, okay? You'll have a sense of accomplishment, don't get me wrong, but the juice of it, the sort of nectar of what's really going to satisfy you, the sort of fat on the meat of the bone, that's just sitting in your studio, making really cool music, maybe collaborating with somebody, but just, that feeling when you hit play and you give yourself goosebumps. That's it. That's really the reason why we do this. And you better be doing this for the same reason. That's got to be your true motivation and joy for pursuing this industry. Even though we're doing this professionally, for income, for money, let's not get it twisted. It still is about doing what you love first, and the money and the success are the byproduct of that, right? You got to focus on what you love first. That's what's going to drive you through those dark times, through those times of doubt, and all that stuff going forward. Okay, guys. So this is the pledge. Make this promise to yourself. If you'd like to, type these up. I'll post them in this link. You can copy and paste them. Print these on the wall. and just look at this every single day. This will definitely help you stay in the right mindset, the right attitude, because we do all, even myself, from time to time, get tempted to want to blame others, to make excuses for just not feeling like making music or whatever. This checklist, I think, covers it all. I think this pledge is basically the sort of blueprint for how do you stay in the right mindset moving forward in your career to make sure that you succeed in the long run. And that's what it's all about here today, guys. So make this pledge, and I think you're going to see some incredible things moving forward in the syndicate.